Back, my lovely students. So today, chapter 4. I don't know when you're reading this. I don't know when you're watching this or whatever, but chapter 4, we're going to be discussing chapter 4 of 1984. Got a nice ring to it. Okay, so in this chapter, you're introduced to Winston's work life, and he works in the records department at the Ministry of Truth. So remember, it's not really the Ministry of Truth, it's the Ministry of Lies. Okay, and he works in the records department. So, uh, obviously, um, what happens in this department is that they rewrite history to suit the needs of the party. And actually, that is what Winston's job is. He creates, in this case, he creates Captain Ogilvy, okay, who is a hero to the party. And he creates this person by speaking into his speak right, which will later be transcribed and written out for the party. So no real thought needs to go into it. He just needs to say it into his little and it will be translated. And purposely, I think, this is my opinion, again, I'm teaching you, so I'm going to throw in a little bit of my interpretation of this book. That he does this because they make it two separate processes to give them more busy work. That's my idea, because there's no better way to dumb down a population than to constantly keep them busy. My interpretation. So I feel like speaking into the speak right to later transcribe it or to have another department transcribe it, we don't really know how it happens yet, but basically adds another task to a not necessary situation. So I feel like that's another tactic of many dictatorships and totalitarian governments. And we are introduced to his two co-workers, Tillotson. Oh, that looks like a B, but it's not. Tillotson. Jeez. Tillotson, son, and Ampleforth. Tillotson, it's a name. I'm not really good with names. Is a hostile coworker, and Ampleforth is more of a poet with like flowery writing or speaking qualities. And so what he does in this chapter is he actually writes a story about Captain Ogilvy. Okay, and Captain Ogilvy led. He has to make up. First of all, Captain Ogilvy is made up. He's made up to help with the party propaganda machine. Okay, he's made up to be the ideal party member who led the ideal life. And he was commended by Big Brother, and Big Brother did a speech about the greatness of Captain Ogilvy. And now that Winston is waking up, this bothers him immensely. And then he realizes, after writing this great story about Captain Ogilvy and how he was such a great party member, it bothers him that now Captain Ogilvy exists just as much as any other real human, like himself. And he's like, well, if it's so easy to make up a person, it makes you think it's just as easy for them to erase a person, making all of us just sort of disposable in this larger machine of the party. And again, this is what happens when you get woke, when you wake up from your slumber of being a sheep and to being someone who actually actively, critically thinks in life, which is what Orwell wants the reader to do. He wants the reader to look at his real world situation, because way back when Orwell was writing this, he thought it was happening then. The dumbing down of the population, the sheep following leaders endlessly into jumping off cliffs. The idea that society was going to go downhill because of this. This is what George Orwell was being critical of way back when. And it's still happening to this day, and it still happens worldwide, that people believe the propaganda machine of dictatorships and totalitarian governments. And this is what Orwell wanted you to wake up from. Wake up from your slumber. And I think, honestly, I don't know who came up with this term being woke, But I think it came from this. Someone had to have read this book, thought of Big Brother and being woke. I don't know. But I love it because it's so true. It's what all of us need to do. We need to wake up from our slumber of letting governments tell us what to think. We are the people who elect our governments. They should be more fearful of us than we of them. But they know that as long as the majority of the population is asleep and being a sheep, they don't have to worry about the one or two people that rise up. And it's happening all over the world. It's happening all over the world right now. I shouldn't have to give you an example, but feel free in the discussions below to give me some and let's discuss it respectfully. I'm not a right fighter, and I will not even acknowledge people who want to be mean spirited or whatever the case may be. If you want to have a good discussion, let's have it, a respectful one. And that's the big observation of this chapter, that Winston realizes that if a memory exists and it's yours and yours alone, you have no proof that that memory is true. How will you ever know that that memory ever happened? So if you want to add a real world example, if you want to discuss it, let's discuss it in the topics, in the discussions below, in the comments below. Please feel free to ask me a question. I'm more than willing to help. If you are actually learning this right now in school and you don't understand something, let's discuss. But please, I will delete comments. I will delete things that are abusive or unnecessary. There's no attacking or anything like that. This is a learning space. That is what I want to create, a learning space on the internet for people to openly discuss their thoughts and ideas and be open to the ideas of others. That make sure if you're giving an example, you have actual facts before thinking them to be whole truths. That's very important. Don't just find one news article. Look at Snopes.com. I have a video I can put it in the descriptions of how to spot fake news. Please check that out first, so that people can have a productive discussion if you need to have one or have something explained. I'm more than happy to do it. So hit like, subscribe, share, because this is the last one for a little while, maybe for a week before I get any more. I'll drop a few more videos all at once. But I won't do it unless people are actually actively engaging, because that's what I want to happen here. That's the whole process of this. Once I finish 1984, I'll be looking to do Lord of the Flies and take requests, please. Yeah, so hit like, subscribe, share, please, for anyone who might benefit from reading this book. Let's go.